Hola, soy yo Vicky otra vez, and welcome to video 10 in this series that I've been doing of test your level of Spanish to see how it compares with GCSE level. There's only a few more to go now. We're on video 10. We're going to look at the perfect tense. The perfect tense is what you have done. Okay, again, this is in my level 2 book. If you don't know the perfect tense and you're wanting to look at that tense, it's in my level 2 book, Break the Language Barrier level 2. And go into that in quite some detail there. I mean, obviously it comes up as it goes through, you know, because after the subject is presented in my Break the Language Barrier books, after that it does come up still every now and again when we're comparing with other tenses. But the actual presentation of this topic is in the level 2 book, and you can find it there. And I will put that in the description box, and also put links to relevant videos, because there are videos that explain about the perfect tense or the have done tense. And if you want to check those out, they'll be in the description box. So yeah, the perfect tense is what we have done. Have you had your lunch? Have you been to the shops? I have worked very hard this week. Anything you have done in Spanish is the perfect tense. And we make it using the verb to have, but not tener, but haber. And then the past participle of the main verb, what we have done. Now, I'm not going to go into that in great detail here, because this video is just practicing it, presuming that you know it. If you don't know that tense, then, or you want a refresher on that tense, you need to look either at, if you've got the Break the Language Barrier level 2 book, you can look in there, or look on the video that will be in the description box. And if you want to buy the Break the Language Barrier level 2 book, you can order it through me for €15, including postage and packing, or you can order it on any Amazon site. And again, I'll put all the links down in the description box. Okay, now, if you've done any of these videos before, you'll know the format. You'll need a pen and a piece of paper or a pad, because these videos are designed not by me. These are genuine GCSE tests to prepare you for a GCSE. These are the things you need to know if you're thinking of going to do a GCSE in Spanish. You need to know that these are things that obviously must come up in the exam, that they expect you to know. And it's mainly the irregulars, of course, irregular verbs, etc. Now, you might not be going to do a GCSE, but you might want to see how your level compares to it. You know, quite often people don't realise what level they've got to in Spanish, you know. And I think most of my students, certainly once they've gone through 1, 2, 3, and levels 1, 2, and 3, could pass a GCSE easily. It's just a question of how good a mark they could get. But sometimes confident, you know, people aren't confident. So it's nice to do these tests, and it might give you some confidence. And if there are things that you didn't know and that you get wrong, you know where, you know, it gives you an idea of where you need to brush up a little bit. So personally, I think tests are a good thing. Not everybody likes doing tests. I am one of those sad people that really likes doing tests and exams. I've always liked doing them because I think they concentrate your mind. Because, as I say, sometimes, not only with Spanish, with anything, you don't realise what you know. You always think there's so many things you don't know, because there are always a lot of things you don't know, but you forget what you have learned and that you probably know a lot. And it's confidence that, so a test can give you confidence. And even if you don't get, as I say, you don't get the things right, it tells you then, you know then what you've got to brush up on. So you shouldn't be dispirited if you do get things wrong. Getting things wrong is the way that you end up getting them right. Okay. Now, I just want to say, I know I waffle on a bit sometimes, but I just want to say what a sort of a comparison I always give my students is, whatever job you did or do, when you started in that job, you didn't just, do a week then and you knew everything about the job. You didn't. It takes years, and repetition of doing things before you get good at your job, especially if it's a professional job. If you're a doctor or if you're a nurse or if you're a teacher or whatever you do, you don't just learn how to do it well in 1 week, or it can take a long time. Maybe you started in a job when you were 18, and by the time you're 40, then you're really good at it. But this is what I'm trying to say to people: be kind to yourself. Don't expect to be brilliant at something immediately. Be kind to yourself and keep practicing. That's the key. Okay, so I'm going to hold up to you the sentences that they want translating in English so that you can either write them down, I'll read them out as well. You can write them down, pause the video, take a photo of them, and then you need to pause the video then before I hold up the Spanish, okay? So these are the sentences you're expected to know how to translate if you want to do it GCSE in Spanish. So number 1, I have spoken, he has eaten, they have lived. Now those 3 are regular verbs, so I'll tell you that now for nothing. So they're obviously starting you off gently there. Number 2, I have opened the box. Number 3, we have covered the food. Number 4, they have said what they think. Number 5, you have discovered the truth. Number 6, she has written a letter. Number 7, I have done the same. Number 8, he has died. Number 9, I have put it on the table. Number 10, he has broken the chair. Number 11, we have seen the beach. And number 12, I have returned. So there's quite a lot of irregular past participles in there, just to warn you. So now's the time to either pause the video. I will put my face behind there so you can pause the video so that you can translate the sentences from the paused video or write them down or whatever you want. And then now's the time I'm going to go on to the Spanish. Okay, so number 1, as I said, to give you a clue, these are regular verbs, the first 3. He hablado, I have spoken. Ha comido, he has eaten. Han vivido, they have lived. So those are regular AR, ER and IR verbs that all end. The AR verbs end in ado, the ER and IR verbs end in ido when we put them into the past participle. Then I think nearly all the others, in fact, all the others are irregular past participles. So they're obviously expecting you to know your irregular participles. So number 2, he abierto, that's a bit of Spanglish for you. He abierto la caja. It's a good sign when you start doing Spanglish because it means that your brain's not differentiating between the languages. So, he abierto, that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. He abierto la caja. I have opened the box. Hemos cubierto la comida. So, abierto is the irregular past participle of abrir. Cubierto is the irregular past participle of cubrir. And then, han dicho lo que piensan. So, dicho is the irregular past participle of decir. And piensan, they think, that's a diphthong verb. Y número 5, has descubierto la verdad. So, descubierto sort of, notice it's got the same, because cubrir and descubrir, so they take the same form in the past participle. Has descubierto la verdad. Número 6, ha escrito una carta. So, escrito, the irregular past participle of escribir. He hecho lo mismo. Hecho, the irregular past participle of hacer. Ha muerto. Muerto, the irregular past participle of morir. Número 9, lo he puesto en la mesa. I have put it on the table. So, the it, remember the pronouns, pesky pronouns. I will put a link in to the video that explains pronouns, which also are in level 2 of Break the Language Barrier. The presentation of pronouns. So I'll put all that in the description box. Remember that we put our pronouns before the verb in Spanish. So instead of I have put it, it's it I have put. So, lo he puesto en la mesa. Puesto being the irregular past participle of poner. Ha roto la silla. So, roto being the irregular past participle of romper. Hemos visto la playa. Visto being the irregular past participle of ver. And he vuelto, vuelto being the irregular past participle of volver. How did you do? Yeah, ¿cómo has hecho? ¿Cómo has hecho bien? Have you done well? No, did you get them all right? Or did you forget some of the irregular past participles? Obviously, that's, as I say, that's the whole reason for this particular test, is to make sure that you know your irregular past participles, because they obviously come up in the GCSE exam. But just generally, I mean, it's ironic really, because the irregulars are normally the most common verbs, like abrir, to open, hacer, to do, volver, to return. These have all got irregular past participles, and they're not obscure verbs that you never use. They're commonly used verbs. Okay, so I hope you found that useful and enjoyed it, hopefully, and enjoyed doing the translations. I don't know where you are watching this video or when you're watching it. Here, I'm in Spain, and at the moment the weather's awful, but of course that's always a good time to learn some Spanish or do something constructive. You've got to look on the positive side. So apart from being locked down, we're also, the weather's awful. Though our terraces have opened, bars and restaurants are open this week on the terraces, but the weather's awful, so nobody's really going to want to go. But anyway, things are getting better. Okay, so I'm sorry, I do waffle on. So give me a thumbs up, please. That's a free way you can really help me out. And by subscribing as well, it's all free, completely free. As I say, if you want to buy the Break the Language Barrier books, and what I've done a little video of how to get the best out of the resources that I offer, and I'll put that in the description box as well. So if you need to work out what level you're at, you can see what we cover in which levels. And yeah, keep practicing. But anyway, que tu Dios vaya contigo y te veo en el próximo video. Muchas gracias. Hasta pronto.